going on, people? Welcome to United View and welcome to the Man City versus Man United preview. I'm joined by Lewis from City Extra, bro. Been wanting to do some stuff for a little while, man. So thanks for coming on. How are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm not going to can't lie, bro. That intro, then that's a hard beat. That that's a hard beat.
It's all right, bro.
I was about to go in.
You know how many people say like the intro is just so sick, and it just sticks. It's one of them, man. It is a big tune. It's a big tune.
It's a tune.
But good to have you on, man. How are you, bro?
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, Flex. Yeah, it's all good, man. I'm looking forward to this. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Like, I feel a little bit disappointed, if I'm going to lie, in our record against United recently. Like, obviously we're doing mint, winning trophies and that, and that's obviously great, but. I live around a lot of United fans, so whilst I'm winning trophies and at the end of the season I've always got the trophy, roast up my sleeve. They've always got recently they've had quite a good record against us, and it's something that's just sort of like it's annoyed me a little bit, to be honest, man. I want to get a big win, and to be honest, I was kind of disappointed because when you had Ollie, I just felt like we needed to roast you big, like 5, 6, 7. It never was, and United have got a decent record against us, especially at the Etihad. I'm not sure what happens when you guys turn up there, but you always seem to do well.
Yeah, that's a proper interesting one, Lou, because that's the weird one for me. It's like, okay, the last game we played, to be fair, with Ollie at Old Trafford was 2-0 to you guys. But it felt like 6-0. It did. Like it was arguably. I know it sounds weird because we got battered 5-0 by Liverpool, but the way that you guys just played in the training match, Pep didn't even make a sub. I think De Bruyne came out after the game and was like, "Yeah, didn't really prep for it." It was very embarrassing, that humbling, because that 2-0 felt like a 5-6-0. But on the other hand, you're right about this game. Like at the Etihad, it's like if under Ollie, when it looked like obviously we weren't doing well, we would always turn up at your place and do all right. And it's almost like the roles are reversed. Well, the roles are reversed with a lot of things in terms of your dominance of this new era and our shitness. But back in the day, think about it, when we were on top and, the best team in England, we'd still go to Main Road or the Etihad and have a tough game, and sometimes vice versa, even when you wasn't the team you are now, because it's a derby and anything can happen. Why is it you think in recent years we've done all right against you? Do you lot struggle against teams that sit back and counter, like how Spurs did to you?
Yes, and I sometimes feel that we maybe, I don't know if arrogant's the right word, but sometimes I feel like the players go on the pitch and the manager sets the players to go up on the pitch against United. And this is not, I'm not trying to murk United when I say this, but I feel like they go out on there just thinking we're better than these players. And we've got a better manager, we've got a better team, play our game and we'll win. You know what I mean? And that's 9 times out of 10 that might work. However, I think what you're saying is right. When it comes down to derby games, there's a little bit more. There's a little bit more to it, and you've got to try and, I don't know, just sort of respect the opposition a little bit. They're not just going to come there and play the same way that they have been playing for ages. They're going to make it difficult for you, and I don't feel like sometimes we sort of handled that very well.
It is a weird one. Because...
Yeah, Flex, just hold on one sec.
Yeah, sure.
The battery's gone on this, bro.
He can't hear me.
Battery's gone on it. No, it's just...
What I was going to say while Lewis is sorting it out because he can't hear me, for you guys watching...
1 second, bro.
It's interesting that he says that, because we do seem to have their number, and it's nice to hear a City fan actually look at the other side of it and not just come and say, "Oh, but you guys are shit, you're this, you're that, you're in the mud," because actually... when we play them, we have a decent record, and that's why I wanted to speak to Lewis, because he's not just one of those City fans that will just come on here and say how shit United are and we're going to win 5-0. And also the records of recent times at the Etihad don't actually show that. They don't. Do you know what I mean? So this is good. This is good. Can you hear me now, bro?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry about that, bro. Yeah. I lost
that's all right.
Batteries on.
No, that's cool. I was just picking up on the point that it's interesting to hear a City fan's perspective of that, because look, we know you're dominant, we know you're miles superior to us in a lot of ways, but actually in the recent track record, is actually pretty good at the Etihad. Unbeaten in the last couple of years there. Even when you was 3-1 up in the Carabao Cup final from the home leg, we then came to the Etihad and won 1-0. It's weird from a Matic goal. So it is weird. How much pressure, because it hurts for me, but we have to talk about it. Liverpool are there. I can't stand Liverpool as well, but they are hot on your heels. And now this title race has been, blown wide back open again with some interesting things. They're going to be hoping we go there, nick a point off you or something like that. So you drop 2, then they got to come to the Etihad. How much pressure is on you guys? 1, it's a derby, and 2, that any slip up against any team, let alone Man United, Liverpool are right there on your tails.
Yeah, it's hanging, mate. And this weekend is going to be a pretty grim one. Now, obviously, I think they're playing West Ham this weekend, if I remember rightly. So, West Ham are a decent side, and Liverpool played a lot of football over the last week or so. So hopefully they can do something. But yeah, it's sickening, bro. Like you know what it's like. You know what I mean? You've been in these title races where literally like every game is like a cup final, and I know that gets thrown around all the time, and it's like sometimes like no, it's not a cup final every game, but this is actually like a cup final because like City, Liverpool, we're getting 90 plus points every year. Like you can't afford to drop points, and that's why sometimes get like proper gutted when you draw a match. You know what I mean? I think we drew against Southampton just before.
You drawn twice.
Yeah, just before the international break, we dropped points against them, and. I'd say like maybe 7 years ago when we had Pellegrini or when we had Mancini, I think teams were losing 5, drawing 5 games a season. You do that, you're going to finish 3rd or 4th now. You know what I mean? You can't afford to drop points. Every game is ruthless. And then when you add in FA Cup, you add in Champions League and Carabao Cup and that, it becomes a proper slog. And yeah, it is difficult. It's sickening. United, I don't have to explain to United fans. They've been through it all before. I know they're not going through it now, but funny enough, you probably are going through it now, but just in terms of the top 4 race rather than the Premier League. You know what I mean?
Yeah, top 4, mate. Honestly, it's the shittest race. We just can't get any consistency, and that's the thing.
Nobody does.
Nobody can in that area of the table. And from the United fans I've spoken to on a personal, like a lot of people are worried about this game. They look at how bad we were earlier in the season against Liverpool and against you at home, but actually, this is Ralph Rangnick's biggest test so far, to date. It was Atletico away, we come away with a draw, but now we're about to play you away from home, domestic game. This is his biggest game, and actually this is where we're going to find out how good tactically he is. We there's a lot of question marks there. We've been playing better football, but just not for long enough, and haven't been capitalizing on the chances we've got, hence dropping silly points and stuff like that. But I think I look at the way Spurs played against you, and they did it to you twice this season, didn't they? First day of the season, and then about a month ago, innit? Mm-hmm. And it might just come out of the blue, but there is a way of hurting City. I do look at City and think that counter-attacking style is the best way if we're going to get anything.
Yeah, I mean, it is. You look at the games that happens. I mean, I'm looking at Palace. Sat back, got us, and then just sat there. You know what I mean? I'm looking at Spurs, as you said, both times. Counter-attacking goals. That you do have to have the defence to back it up. You know what I mean? You can't just come there, play counter-attacking football, nick a goal, and then have a poor defence. You do have to have the defence to back it up. But it's interesting you say that though, Flex, because like I've seen United. Obviously, I've seen it when I'm watching them with my mates and that. But this Ragnick fella, when he come in, we was all talking about the gegenpress and all that. And I'm not seeing it. So are you telling me that when we play you on Sunday, surely United are not going to sit there, play counter-attacking football with Ragnick as a manager? Like, because the thing is, you probably should do that. Should do that. But is he going to do that? And if he doesn't do that and he comes to press... I'm not going to lie, I want you to press us. I want you to come to the Etihad and press. Why? Because you'll leave gaps for us. You know what I mean? And I don't trust your back line will be able to deal with our attack if you leave them spaces. But is Ragnick really going to come to City and sit back and play counter-attacking football? I don't know the guy, you know what I mean? But that doesn't seem, from what I'm reading, from what I'm hearing from United fans, that's not apparently his style. That's
a wicked question, Lou. And in my opinion, I think he does. I think because he's tactically astute, you're right, that's not his style. But what his style was, he abandoned it ages ago. because we were not good enough to play it. That's the fact. So in the first sort of 3 or 4 games, we played that 4-2-2 formation. In the first game under Ranić was against Palace at home. In the first half an hour, we were really good. We were at it, winning the ball back really quickly, high turnovers, putting pressure on them, forcing them into mistakes. And we were sitting there in Old Trafford going, this looks all right, this. We won it 1-0 in the end. And then after that first half an hour, haven't seen it since. Carried on playing 4-2-2. Just didn't work. And I think the last one we did it was maybe against Wolves, and we lost 1-0. And then he changed it to a back 5 later on in the game, and it just wasn't working. And since then, he's gone back to a 4-2-3-1. It's almost like he himself, Lewis, like what you're saying, has gone, these here can't adapt to what I want them to. So I'm going to have to play the same formation they're used to, which is a 4-2-3-1, and maybe change the instruction a little bit. And like I said, you're right. There's no that Gegen press and players running all over the place like blue-ass flies. Hasn't happened, mate. You're right. It hasn't happened. And that's partly, I think that's because our players have been so used to a way of playing for so long. I don't think that to get that level of play, we got to have a clear out again. It's going to be a messy summer, and I won't bore you with all that. Man United fans know what's going to happen in the summer. But I feel like because Ranić is a smart manager, though, he will know we can't go toe-to-toe with you. He will know that we cannot, be pressing all over the pitch. It's something we haven't even been doing. So I think it'll be somewhere in between. I think he'll say, look, in moments, in the right areas, go and have a press, go and put a bit of pressure on. I don't think it will be as regressive as literally just camp out and try and get Rashford in, or try and get Elanga in, or try and get Ronaldo in, or whatever. But we do need runners against you. Because that's the only way we're going to be able to catch you out. Because possession-wise and just cutting you open at will, it's probably not going to happen. If we beat you, it's going to have to be the same way we have been beating you the last couple of years, and that's counter-attacking football.
I agree, man. I agree. Rashford loves these games.
And he's been playing poorly as well.
Yeah, but the reason he loves them is because he's fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Funny enough, actually, I'll let you into a little story. I watch a lot of academy football, and many, many years ago, I seen Rashford play for the academy against City, and I think they actually played at the Etihad, actually. It was one of the games that they played at the main stadium. And he was by far the best player on that pitch, and he tore us apart that day. And he's never stopped doing it. And the main reason he gets so much joy against us is because we play the high line. You guys camp back and then just put the ball through to him. And obviously he's a good player. He's saying he's out of form right now, but he's a great player. And yeah, we've just got to deal with that, you know what I mean? So hopefully the City players, we've played a lot of these games. We've just played Tottenham. And I think that'll probably work in our favour, Flex, to be honest.
You'll be ready for that, innit? Yeah.
Yeah, because, had we won, against Tottenham or got the point, they might have come out and just been a bit unlucky. In the end, we conceded 3 poor defensive goals. And I think we'll go into this game and basically say, look, we can't be repeating what we did against Spurs. Let's do it a little bit differently. And, if we have to get a point at the end of it, we get a point. But yeah, I don't see us going gung-ho for this. I just don't, because a loss would be terrible, man.
Catastrophic. I mean, that's what I was going to say to you more. What are you most concerned about? Man United being Man United, which is they've looked like they've been poor for the last couple of months, and then it's Derby Day, they just turn up against you and do what we've done the last couple of years, or the fact that the pressure could get to your players, anxiety and stuff like that, because Liverpool are hot on your heels, or you're quite comfortable with that because you've been there and done it before. You've been to war with Liverpool for the title, pipped them by 1 point. You've been there and done it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a bit weird. The pressure's always there, yeah, but I just feel like at the moment, like, I'm not going to lie, when Salah and Mane went to the African Cup of Nations, I was like, this is it. This is when they're going to drop points. This is it. And we'll get a nice little lead, yeah. And I was watching Liverpool just grinding out these results, and that's the sickening feeling that you get when you're in these races. No one drops points, and then your team starts to drop a few points. You look poor. You know what I mean? We look poor against Spurs. We didn't do great against Southampton. And suddenly, you're then going into the Manchester derby. Both teams have got loads to play for in terms of Champions League football and the title race, and it's just a madness, to be honest with you. And it's a Premier League, Flex. It's the Premier League, man.
Anything can happen. Because even in your last game against Everton, like Michael Keane, Jesus Christ, like, because he just had to run back all the way, he couldn't even lift his foot up. Shocking fitness. He could, and let's Foden in. And like you just said there, Paul, like, it wasn't great. Like, Everton did all right.
Should have won the game, to be honest.
Exactly. So I look at it and I'm like, as good as you are, 100%. You're clear. You're the best team in the country, along with Liverpool. But as good as you are, I think we got a better chance of getting something off you than I think we got Liverpool. I just look at, in the moment, it's Derby. I just feel something. Look, you're capable of going up gears, and if we concede early and shit like that, it could be a very, very long afternoon. I'm under no illusion that can happen. That humbling, like I said, that humbling 2-0 earlier on this season at OT felt like a 5-0. It felt like you scored 2 and felt sorry for us, just passed us off the pitch. We couldn't do anything. It was embarrassing. But I just feel that the players will show a bit, and I think we can nick a draw. I really do. I really do think we can nick a draw. In terms of your shape, I mean, look, as we're recording this, Lou, like the presses haven't been done from both of us, but as you see it, how do you think Pep approaches this game from, who's available as we're recording?
Well, he's been, and this is something that I'm not a massive fan of, but you can't criticise Pep, obviously. He does change the team an awful lot, and sometimes it's like, can you not just keep the team the same for a little bit? Because some people will say that that's had an effect on our performances, and it's hard to sort of disagree. So, look, obviously, like you say, the presses haven't been done, so we might hear something. So just bear that in mind, guys. But you've got obviously Edison's going to be in goal. Centre backs is a real sort of issue. John Stones has to play because John Stones is slamming right now. Laporte, Diaz. It's probably going to be Diaz, but Diaz has apparently had a bit of a knock. So again, we'll have to wait until the presser. Cancelo, Walker, I believe, are both available. Rodri, who's had a bit of a wobble. He's been absolutely...
He hasn't he? He's been a bit...
He's been class all season. And then this last sort of month or so, he's not quite been himself. I'm not sure what's gone on there. And then going forward, you've got such an array of talent that you can select. The players that have to play in these games are Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, Mahrez. So I think there's one spot left, so you can pick Jesus, Sterling, Grealish, Gundogan if you wanted to play Kevin as a false 9 or Bernardo as a false 9. So I think it's only really that position there, and depending on whether Diaz is available for selection, that's going to be up for grabs. I think the team pretty much picks itself at the moment.
Can I ask you this as well, just for my own sake, really, and people might want to know as how City fans feel about it, because you're winning so much games, you're top of the league, it can go under the carpet. But how disappointed have you been disappointed with Jack Grealish? Or is it much ado about nothing?
Bro, the transfer fees killed him. Like it's so stupid. You know what I mean? Like it's just daft. Like watch the guy play football. Like half of the time he gets the ball, he's being marked by 3 players anyway. You know what I mean? So what's he meant to do in them situations? Every other player I can remember that's joined City as a winger under Pep Guardiola has struggled in the first year. Mahrez struggled. I think Sane had a bad time. Sterling was already there. He came under Pellegrini, which again a lot of people forget. It's just like the guy's going to take him time. You know what I mean? He's a hard manager to learn under. You know what I mean? I feel like Pep Guardiola learning his way of playing is probably harder than any other manager going because he demands so much. You've heard the story about Thierry Henry when Thierry Henry was told to play. I think it was a Barcelona. He was told to play left wing or something, and Pep said, "Stay in this position, stay in this position." He drifted out of position, scored a goal, and he got subbed off at half time because Pep said, "You didn't do what I asked you to do." Like Pep's a madness. He's got so many mad tactics. It's going to take him time. Let's be honest, Flex. Who was he playing for last season? What's that Villa manager's name? Who's now at Norwich?
Dean
Smith.
I mean?
Yeah. Are you telling me, it's going to go from Dean Smith's tactic? I'm not being funny. I'm not trying to disrespect Dean Smith here, but like it's kind of disrespectful at the same time. Is it going to go from Dean Smith? Yeah, it is a bit, but it's true. He's gone from Dean Smith to Pep Guardiola, and people expect him to just hit the floor running and he start scoring goals and assists all the time. How do you feel when people say? How do you feel when because obviously he's gone from being he's coming into being a small fish in a bigger pond, basically, i.e. City's got an array of talent. They got 5 Jack Grealishes, in hindsight, just to kind of put a little layman's terms on it. What about him having to show, like, extra levels? Like, he's the man at Villa. He's the captain at Villa. Do you see anything on his side where he has to do more, or you're literally in the camp of just be patient, he'll be fine? I'm probably more on the side of be patient. But there is a little bit of an element of, show a little bit more. But I think it is hard for him, you know what I mean? Because he has come from Villa, like you say. He's coming to City where he's no longer the main man. You know what I mean? There's so many other players there that probably Pep will go to speak to for advice or for like getting him going or whatever. And he's got to find his way in. And it's took Phil Foden a while. Phil Foden come through our academy, yeah. And when he was playing for our first team, you know, he's been great. His development's been amazing. But what you're starting to see this year that you didn't see in previous years is Phil Foden's now telling other players what to do on the football pitch. And I specifically remember, I think it was against Liverpool, that he told Kevin De Bruyne what to be doing. He wouldn't be doing that last year.
And that's come from the grounding with Pep and learning and learning.
And he feels comfortable now, Flex. Grealish can't come in. Imagine Grealish comes in, bro, and then day one on trailing and starts telling Kevin De Bruyne what to do.
Nah, can't run.
You kind of need to do that, but at the same time, you can't just do it from day one. Otherwise, everyone's going to be like, who's this guy? You know what I mean? So give him a bit of time, but eventually he does start having to show a little bit more on the football pitch.
Yeah, he's going to get that season's grace. And I think it's easier to look at, not a waste of 100 million, but look at a 100 million player who might not be at his best yet when you're doing as well as you are. I think if you were in third, struggling to get the title, and it was a bit, then people would be saying, oh, look, City didn't get a striker, but they got him. He's not even playing 100 million on the bench. And look, but because you're winning football matches, it does it, like you said. I think you can give him that year. I would have expected more. I just personally thought you didn't need him. I just thought that, I thought you had to go and get a striker. But then
did we buy in no Flex thinking that Bernardo Silva was going to leave? I believe that was true. That's what I genuinely believe, and that's what I've been told.
But also, I thought there was a little bit, and you'll know more than me. I thought there was a little bit of Sterling getting a bit stale. People thought he wasn't quite it anymore. Needs to kind of get replaced. Going into the Euros, it was very much that narrative in terms of outside your fan base. People were saying, yeah, Sterling shouldn't be in the England team. It should be Grealish. And Sterling just went, all right, watch this, in my opinion. I rate Sterling, I think he's top draw. I think he's brilliant. And I still think he's better than Grealish.
Well, they're completely different players. It's hard to sort of. It's because hard he runs.
Because Sterling occupies. When I see Sterling, I think Grealish is more containable. Like what you just said there, stick a couple of guys on him. You know he's going to get it, try and come in, win the foul. He wants it at feet all the time. Whereas Sterling he's just active, running in behind, never stops moving. I don't know. I would prefer to play against Grealish than Sterling. Me personally.
Yeah, you probably would. But if you was losing the match and you needed to find a goal, from a City point of view, if we're winning that game, I'd rather Grealish on the pitch. I'd rather have Mahrez on the pitch because they keep the ball. You know what I mean? Whereas if we need to find a goal and we need one rapid, then maybe you would want Sterling because he's going to do more. You know what I mean? But Sterling's come into his own of late, and I think he might have had a couple of quiet games recently. But on the whole, the last sort of I think maybe 4 or 5 months. He's really come back to life, and there's now talk of a new contract and that, which is going to be no rush him signing. He's going to take his time, and I don't blame him, to be honest. You know what I mean? He's had quite a lot of stick over the last sort of year or so. So
it's like because he had that bad year last year going into the Euros. It's like everyone forgot the previous 3 seasons where he was unbelievable, like getting like 20 goals and that pretty much every year. Like I don't know, I felt like people just forgot. But back to the United point of view. If I was to ask you, who are you most worried about on the day, individually, who would you say?
Fred.
No. Hey, listen, he's been doing all right recently. He's getting a couple of goals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what? I'm obviously going to say Ronaldo, but I kind of don't want to say Ronaldo because it's just a boring answer. You know what I mean? But like I said to you before, I think Rashford comes alive in these games. You know what? Boyalanga.
Yeah, he's doing all right, man.
Slamming. So you know what? Any of them players can damage us. And this is the thing, United have a good team. They have a good team. All right, you need to make improvements to certain positions. You know what I mean? I think centre mid. Obviously, everyone knows that you probably needed that for about 5 years. But like, you can hurt teams. But you can hurt yourself as well, and that's the United situation at the moment. Yeah, you can hurt City. But, if Maguire passes it out to Kevin De Bruyne on the edge of his penalty area, you ain't going to be stood there shocked, are you, really? So, any of them front 3 players for me. And obviously Ronaldo, he was so close to joining City in the summer, apparently, and he's going to want to...
How did you feel, actually, just before we wrap up, How did you feel when all that was going on, and it looked nailed on he was going to City.
Yeah,
it looked like
it did look.
How did you feel when it just changed over? Did you just do that whole thing of like, whatever, man? So what? We didn't want him anyway, or was you a bit gutted, or how did you think about it?
Look, the situation was, I wanted him because I wanted to rub it in the faces of all my United mates. You know what I mean? I had United mates like genuinely like. Not crying in it, but like very, very upset. Like, and I get 100%. It. Like, he's a United legend, he's a United hero or whatever, and he was about to join your local rivals. Obviously, it would have been a roast. That's the main reason I wanted him. I didn't personally believe he fully suited our system, and I still genuinely think that too. I think he probably would have improved us slightly, but I think that I don't think he would have fit in our system fully. But yeah, you know what I mean. It was more of the sort of situation that. We were so close to proper rubbing it in United's face. I mean, when we signed Tevez, that was funny, but this would have been like a whole new level, man.
Yeah, it would have. It would have, yeah. I hear you on that. I mean, I was covering it at the time on Sky, and I was fuming, trying to keep check with my emotions. Got to be professional on there. Watching him go to City, and then I left, and then Ollie done his presser at 1:30, and he just let the cat out of the bag pretty much, and then it all just went from there. But he's
rapid
been
question, Flex. Can I ask you a rapid question?
Yeah, of course.
But and be honest, yeah. Was it an actual good move signing him? Genuinely. If he wasn't going to City, say City would never say City come now, we're not signing him. Would you have said genuinely, was that a good idea to sign him? Because I don't think it was, man. I know Edison Cavani's had his problems this season or whatever, but I genuinely think that United would have been much better having Cavani up top. Feeding in Elanga, Rashford, Bruno. I think that would have been a much better. And obviously, you started Martial. I know he's left now, but like, you know what I mean. I feel that would have been more of a. And the guy's always going like this, isn't he? He's always like this. That's no good, man.
He is. I'll be honest with you, Lewis. Yeah, the problem. So in theory, a lot of what you say, I kind of agree with. Yeah, but the practical problem we had with that, and it's been proved this season. Cavani's a sick note, mate. Like. He missed loads of games last year, and we wanted him to stay on with an addition of another striker. We didn't know it'd be Ronaldo at the time, but we thought Martial would stay, and we had options. And again, he's proved it. He's a sick note, bro. He's never fit. And sometimes I think he's at the stage of his career where he's had so many injuries. He literally picks and chooses when he's playing. I couldn't even tell you what injury he's got right now. Honestly, he's just not reliable. When he plays, grafter. Do you know what I mean? He's done all right. I like him.
And he's a mega striker. He's a mega finisher, mate. Top class.
Top striker, deadly. But I can only go on his record at United, and he's missed so many games, bro. So many games. So that's one thing of why just relying on Cavani wouldn't have worked. We did need a striker. Secondly, here's the thing, and I think it is off sentiment. If Ronaldo becomes available, even if you take the City thing out of it, I don't think Man United can pass it up for a season or two. He's just too good a player, and he means too much to Man United. You've got to try and find a way. And you've got to remember, we just bought Sancho. We just bought Varane. So you're then saying, I'm going to hold my hands up here. You know, I didn't say would win the league, but I said, fucking hell, Sancho, Varane, and Ronaldo to add to what we've already got, to add to Bruno, to add to the kid who's not here anymore at the minute, to add to Martial, to add to Pogba. Sancho and Ronaldo with Cavani still there.
It's a madness, isn't it? It's a madness that you're in a top 4 race, man.
Exactly. So there's so much more broken with the squad than just Ronaldo. Look, I'm not afraid to criticize Ronaldo. In this patch of form, he's been really poor, bro. It's actually quite sad to see. Like, you know, players nicking the ball off him, young centre-halves, beating him to the ball, pushing him over, shoving him off the ball. Yeah. But having said all that, who's Man United's top scorer? Cristiano Ronaldo. How do we get out of the group stages? Cristiano Ronaldo, when we were shite. So he still has the stardust. But by his chances, by his standards recently, bro, the guy's had bare chances. Just can't score.
Yeah. I've seen the highlights of the Watford game. That was insane, mate.
Crazy. I don't know how we didn't win. And the game before that, it was the same thing. There was a game against Middlesbrough. Obviously, we went out of the cup. We had about 100 chances. He missed loads. So even against Brighton, which was his last goal, he still probably should have scored a hat-trick in that. So he's not actually being clinical by his own standards. So look, man, I think we'll look back on it. I don't think we're going to win anything this season. I don't think we win the Champions League. That's way off us. I'll be surprised, but you never know. But we spoke about it before, didn't we, on Don Robbie? You never know, but very unlikely. So the story's still being written. But if we finish in Europa, mate, it'll be off anyway. It'll be off anyway, and then we have to move on anyway. Yeah, and then we'll have to. And I wouldn't be. Do you know what? If we do get out of Europe, it's just at least we get the reset. Get rid of Ronaldo, get rid of Cavani. They're 37 and 34, I think, or 35, mate. Come on, we can't
start afresh, innit? You know what I mean?
Start afresh, bro. Start afresh. But okay,
but we actually spoke about this.
We did.
We spoke about this. It wasn't on camera actually. It was off air at Don Robbie, and we said, and it'd be interesting to see what the guys in the comment sections think on this, because are United fans prepared to start fresh again? Because you've been starting fresh every couple of years since Fergie left.
I think a lot of them are, Lewis. I think a lot of them can see now. In my opinion, I can't speak for a whole fan base. Obviously, you never can. But from people I speak to and the general feeling I get, it's like we can see, okay, we're not good enough in here. The top end of the pitch is not good enough because they're old, and we need more mobile strikers, more reliable strikers. People are looking at Rashford a lot. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I know you're still saying he's a really good player. He's got a lot to turn around at the moment. He's in a bad place, like performance-wise, really, really bad. Some United fans have even said, "Listen, if the right bid come in, I'd go fresh. I'd move on." I think Jamie Carragher was talking about it on one of the Super Sundays. He was like, he's at the point where he doesn't deserve to start for Man United. Definitely doesn't deserve to start for England. Can he get himself out of this rut, or does he need something new? It's hard. You don't want to be saying that about your academy boys. You want to back them. You want them to come good again. And I really do hope he can, but he's in a bad place. Elanga's come and took the light off him. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll have to see. But I think you're right. Man United fans need to be patient, and we will need another rebuild. And to answer your question, I think there's a lot of Man United fans who have come round to what you're saying and what a lot of other people have been saying, that need another rebuild. Got to get a new manager in. It looks like it's going to be Ten Hag or Pochettino or Luis Enrique or whatever. We got to go again, mate. And got to rebuild. Prediction time, bro. Having said it, it's all said and done. We've gone through a lot of stuff.
Ooh, prediction time. Yeah. I think it's you know what? I think it's going to be close. Yeah. I'm thinking like a 2-1 City, but you know what I mean. I think we might nick it. Yeah. And the reason I say we're going to nick it is because I don't think you're going to play the way you have done at the Etihad under like Ollie and that. You know what I mean? I hear what you're saying about you've not been doing the gegenpress and that, but I just cannot see Rangnick coming to City and just sitting there. You know what I mean? And I think if he doesn't do that, I think if we can get players like Kevin De Bruyne on the ball, Gundogan if he plays, players like that will be able to find gaps. And I'm not being funny with the way you're defending at the moment. You know what I mean? I'm seeing your defence, and I think we could cause serious problems. But I don't know, man. Like say, we're not in the best of form right now. It's a derby day game. Anything can happen. But yeah, I'm probably going to go City, going to nick it. I'm going to go 2-1.
Nick it by a goal. I don't normally do predictions on here because the community have told me in the comments, every time I do it, it's wrong. Every time I do it, it jinxes us.
Give us a prediction, Flex. Go on.
I really don't want to. I feel like I'm going to say this, Lewis. I feel like I'm not confident because of how you're playing, and I know you're in a little bit of dodginess, but it's a big ask. But I feel we can get a positive result. I feel we get a draw. I think we can get a draw.
That's I tell you what, that shows you how far United fans have travelled. That's not a positive
100%.
result, Flex. That's not a positive result, man.
I know. But in the grand scheme of things, with how far we are off you going to there and winning, I'd love to just say it with my chest and say, listen, winning there is nothing less than acceptable. But I just don't feel it. Can we do it? Of course we can. Of course, like you said, on our day, if it all clicks together, if they turn up and put in a top performance, defend for their lives, defend properly, no mistakes or limited mistakes, then yes. But I don't know. I've got a feeling of a draw. I hope I'm wrong. And I'm wrong that it's a win and not a loss. Lewis, big up, man. That was really fun. I appreciate you coming on, man. That was top stuff. If you want to check out Lewis and the guys over at City Extra, the link's going to be in the video description below, guys. So make sure you guys do that. Go and see what they have to say to us behind our backs when they're slagging us off. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, big love. Let us know your predictions in the comments below. Let us know if you think City will beat us. Do you agree with me? Can we nick a draw, or am I being too lenient? Are you guys jumping at the screen saying, come on, Flex, it's a derby, it's United, we're going to do it, Ronaldo's going to show up and show why he chose the red side over the blue side? Do you feel like that with your whole chest? I want to know. And smash the like on the video and subscribe if you lot are new, and we are out of it.